Let me see if you hear that.
Big Smooth,
I
dog.
hear it.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see like this one, it's a little bit more heavy on like the samples I've got in Splice. But what I like to do, I always try to make I don't like using just straight up using the samples and putting them directly in there. So what I simply did for this is just like changing the pitch. Um, and it gives it a more like darker tone from the original sample. And you can see these are the drums that I made, the actual drums I made for it. And then I found some hi-hat patterns and I layered them. And then you have a bass. So it's like I don't know how to play the bass. I don't have a bass. So I kind of have to be creative of finding stuff that I can use. Um, Especially when it comes to like more live sounds, right? Because I could try to recreate it in the NFL on the DAW, like find like a one shot bass, but it's not gonna have that. It's gonna sound very electronic and robotic. So if I can help it out, right, just find like a bass recording. Um,
Mm.
yeah. So for when it comes to the mix, so this kind of how I mixed stuff down. So you see, I think, and you said you started so you've been mixing your vocals.
Yes, I mix my own
Okay.
vocals.
Okay. So you can, I think this would probably come a lot easier, but essentially, when you import a lot of samples or sounds, even if it's like one shots, stuff already is mixed. And I've kind of learned to like, I don't really need to mix too much. I just need to make sure that everything has a controlled sound and has its own pocket of space. So, for example, I'll show you a better example. Let's do something.
Big Smooth, dog.
Yeah, so this is a pretty good example. So like I found this guitar and I just wanted to make kind of like like a trap beat, something like a raw wave type beat, right? So I found different guitars I could stitch together and kind of create what I'm going for. So I'll let you hear that. And then I built out a lot of the drums on that. So this is where I had to kind of do a decent amount of, you see how like I mix stuff. I have like the different levels and stuff, and then I have the different plugins, some effects, some filtering to kind of make to give it a good sound. So
Big
I'll show you
Smooth,
that.
dog.
it's another example where this is just more like taking my time to find different sounds, put them together. And with the drums, I just did it on my own. So like I got the 808 hi-hats. And I think this is actual another, I think this is another hi-hat. Yeah. So I did my own hi-hat, but I still found another one to complement it.
How'd you
Um,
do the drums? Like when you played them, how'd you play them?
yeah. So when I start out, typically this is how I'll start making a beat. So I'll take the main, I pretty much started like this, right? So take the main guitar. Oh, shoot. Right. So I'll kind of start with that. And then I'll just kind of when I go into making a beat, I already know what sound I'm going for. So like this was more like I want like a Rod Wave type of
Mm.
like emotional trap, like like I don't know if you're Scooty Wops, um one of his albums, but he has like this melodic like project. So I wanted to kind of do something like that. So starting off with the guitar and I like to do like the 808. This I like to do the drums, so like the hi-hats, the snares. So I'm just like building everything in like one by one. Not do that. It's like for the 808, you have to know what key the sample is in. Did I pitch this one down? Okay, so this one I didn't pitch down. So I know it's in E major. So I'm not even though I don't know how to play the piano as well, I did take some piano classes in college. So knowing your scales will get you, you don't need to like know how to play an instrument, but if you at least know your scales, that'll make things a lot smoother. So it's just kind of like with the 808, knowing that all my notes need to be in the within the E major scale. Um, so let's go back to that. So yeah. So so that's kind of like the main thing, right? And then of course I'll just put this right here. I had a kick. Yeah, so that's an example. And then just to have like some iteration, I added like a synth, and that kind of gives it some different emotion to it. Like I kind of like a bridge between this trap sound and like having like a bridge between that, just to kind of give it some variation in the beat.
How'd you make that?
So this I had so these are like different packs, like drum packs. You can find a ton for free, or you can just buy some. Like you go on YouTube, you can just look up different drum packs. So like I think I got it from this one right here. So this drum pack that I found on YouTube. It was free, and it has a oh this it might not be that one there. It's probably 808. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's just something. It's a pack that I had. It's a synth 808,
And when
and
you played
then
them, how'd you play them?
so I do it. I'm not really doing the most efficient way. So I do have right to my left. I have a keyboard. I can connect it to my laptop, but I lost one of the cords, and I've been meaning to buy a new cord. So in the meantime, I just go into the FL Studio. You have your
Piano roll.
piano roll. So yeah, I just made it a piano roll again, like knowing that it's an E mate. It's knowing the scale and then kind of laying it out. And I think I kind of went based off the 808 pattern. I think I just copied it in here and I just kind of changed it to because with a synth, you want it to kind of all connect versus those 808s being like those punchy,
Hmm.
like one shots, like everything kind of like flows with
Yeah.
it. So yeah.
So then, when it comes to well, how do you know like to when you have enough, or like when too much, when it's too much when it comes to making your beats?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it just depends on the type of beat you're trying to make. Like s- I kind of am a person where I used to overdo stuff. Like I just be putting a whole bunch of stuff in there. I've kind of changed because when I study, I don't know if you do this, but I like to study music. Like when I listen to stuff, even if I'm in my car, if I'm just listening to music, like I may listen to it just to listen to it, but also I may go back and I listen to it just to like study like, okay, how did the producer arrange this record? How did they produce this beat? And a lot of times there's really not kind of like less is more. And I feel like as an artist, you can relate because it's like when you overproduce and you add too many elements, there's no room for the vocals
Mhm.
of the artists themselves. So like I've kind of reverted back to be like, all right, like less is more. I don't need to add too much. Um, I feel like for the last, let me see, for that last record I showed you was kind of a lot because there was a lot of different sounds. But that was more of an instrumental. So if I'm making, I like to make beat tapes. So if I'm doing something like that, I may add a little bit more in there, because I know nobody's gonna uh get like rap or sing on this beat. So I can kind of be a little bit more creative. But also I just want to like keep a reminder of like, okay, you don't have to do too much. Um, so yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you trying to do. Like I was listening to I was listening to Chromatopia last week. That's been on my by Tyler the Creator. Like that's been on my list for a while because everybody was talking about how good it was. So I was like, I don't really when I mean, as a Christian, like I don't really listen to secular music like that.
Mhm.
Um, I will just to kind of keep up with what people got going on. Um, but a lot of people, Christians and non-Christians, was talking about Chromacopia. So I was like, I never really liked Tyler Creator for real. So I was like, all right, I'll give him a chance. And I really rock with the production. And it was just him was like with his production, it was different soundscapes and switch ups. Like it was kind of experimental. So I was really glad I did listen to it because it's like now I'm getting ideas of like, oh, okay, like I never thought of that before, or I never thought to use those type of sounds. And that's something I may want to try one day, and I just kind of keep that in the back of my head. So like I have like a list of producers that I always rock with. So like for me, it's like Knife Wonder, Hit Boy, Metro, Zaytoven, um, Carvello. He's like a Christian rap producer for Reach Records. I like his stuff. Um, I like Jay Boski stuff. I Project, he got some, his beats be crazy. But I know
Mhm.
I Project, like you could tell he knows how to play an instrument. So he gets a lot more like the way he be doing stuff is just is crazy. Like how he does his sounds, like his synth. He does a lot of synth heavy beats. So he uses a lot of synthesizers. But I think that'd be a good transition to bring up. Um, so with plugins, I'll show you plugins that I have. So if you have FL Studio, it should come with these plugins. built in already.
Hmm.
Some stuff I like to use is actually I'll show you a beat. Well, I just use a piano, but like for example, Citrus, that's a cool plugin, and like it's just when it comes in. But you can look if you look at the presets, like look at all this, bro.
Crazy.
Look at all these different sounds, bro. Like you got stuff from arps, you got bass, brass, bells, guitars, like pianos, synthesizers, like wind instruments. You have like a crazy amount of stuff just in this one plugin. Um, there's some. I have this other plugin. It's called Arcade. I haven't used it in a while, but I need to get back to using it. So that's another way too. Like if you want to create something on your own and feel like you don't have to be limited to like getting samples. So for example, I can show you another beat that I just made completely on my own. Um, let's see. I think it's let's see. It should be. Is it there? Should have been in there. Should be in here. It's fine. But- Okay, so for this one, I made everything myself. Um, so I didn't use any samples. I just used a plug-in with the piano. I did all my drums, did the 808s, I did everything. So
Big Smooth on the beat.
so this one was actually on my album, one of my EPs. Because I knew I wanted to do a record with DKG Kai.
Hmm.
So I was like, let me make a Detroit Flint type beat. So here, let me show you.
So, um, how did you play the piano? Did you use music theory for that?
So I honestly went on YouTube, and this is where, yeah, so if you don't know quite what to do, but you know what sound you want to go for, I went on YouTube and I looked up like piano Flint type beat FL Studio tutorial. and he walked you through how to like kind of go about making one. And
Mm.
then I kind of took that and I made my own one. So it didn't, I was like, oh, okay, like, short piano at let me show you. Let me see.
Big Smooth on the beat.
Like it's moving, like it's just like moving like through the scale. And then you have these bass, like you have your higher notes and then you have your bass notes. So you have like
Big
those are
Smooth
kind of
on
dragged
the
out.
beat.
So I was like, okay, let me try to like make some and then just find the key that you want to go for and then try to make something in there. So
So how do I not get overwhelmed by this?
what'd you say?
How do I not get overwhelmed by this?
I would say, where'd you go? Where's your video? I don't know where your video went. Honestly, I would say take your time, bro. Like, don't feel like if you get in when I first got into beats, I was just doing I was just doing stuff. I've been doing it for a minute, and there was a time where I actually like would submit my beats for feedback, and I was getting cooked, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this ain't it, bro. The drums, trash. The mix, trash. The sound, trash.
Dang.
And but I knew like it was coming from people I trusted, and I was
Yeah.
just sending them to other artists like, hey, bro, what you think about this? And it's like, all right, how can I get better? Um, and I think the biggest thing is taking your time, the same way you approach making a record. I don't know how long it takes for you to make a record. How long does it take
Like
if you were
two
to make a?
hours.
It takes you 2 hours. All
To
right,
record, just to record, like
just
just
to
to record.
record.
Yeah.
But to write, if somebody gave you a beat and you want to make a song to that beat, how long would it take from like writing, perfecting the lyrics, and then recording all that? Like, how long would it take you to make a
Yeah,
song?
that's 2 hours.
Oh, shoot, you like that? That's what's up.
Nah, nah,
Was
nah.
it, was it, but was it, did it always take you 2 hours? Did it take you longer before? Like, when you
I
first
used
started?
to when I first started I was quicker because I didn't put as much thought into it.
I got you, for sure. Like, for me, yeah, I can make a beat in, yeah, like 30 minutes to an hour, but it used to take me a couple hours because I just didn't know what to do. And I had to, like, I remember I'd be making something, and then I was like, wait, how do I do such and such? And then I'll go on YouTube and just YouTube how to do it. And sometimes I had to like stop. Like I said, I make a beat. It's like, all right, sometimes I would feel overwhelmed, like, all right, bro, like let me just put this down and let me do some research or let me kind of step away from it and then I'll come back and finish it with like an open mind. So um I think now it's more so like I know what I'm going for. I know what type of sounds I need. So I just go ahead and like I try to create efficiently. So that kind of leads into Splice. So I'll show you what that looks like. Um, Let's see. So Splice is like it's a subscription, and it's kind of like the Costco of getting samples.
Hmm.
So it's like different. It's a whole bunch of stuff on here. Like they're always releasing new sounds every week, so you can always like stay fresh. And like always find new stuff. So what I do is I get the app on my phone too. Sometimes I'll go on my phone and I'll just listen to stuff. And what I'll do is I'll save them in these folders that I have here. Um, so let's see, right now I'm working on my new project called Father Figure that I'm trying to release later this year. So like I've just stuffed it with different sounds. So when I'm ready to create, and I already know like, okay, I'm producing for my EP and I already have all my notes, um, and everything that I know of, like this is what I'm going for as a producer, and this is the type of sound I'm trying to create. So when I'm ready to create, all I gotta do is go in here, find something that I like that fits what I'm going for, and then I can just go from there. Um, Now if I want to do something more like this, I could still do it. It might take me a little bit more time, but even still like the only reason why I was able to do this efficiently is because I knew I wanted to make like a Flint type beat, and I knew I need that on the piano. Hey, oh, thank you. So I think, like I said, knowing what you're trying to do,
Wait, real quick. Did somebody
yeah,
bring you a cup of water?
yeah, my wife.
Just like, and you didn't have to ask, like she just did it?
I asked her, I asked her before I
Oh.
got on the Zoom.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, bro. I was like, bro, that's what marriage is like, man. Like water, just like I'm sorry, bro. I just real quick, I was just thinking about my like, bro, if I'm married, am I really just gonna be sitting there and be like, huh? I wonder if my boo wants some water right now, and just go grab her a cup of water, bro.
I mean, sometimes it is like that. Like I don't, sometimes I don't have to ask her to do stuff for me, or
Yeah.
same with her. I don't have to ask to do. Like the other day, I had to take her. She asked me to take her car to the dealerships to get like an oil change and get like some other work done on the car.
Uh-huh.
But after the fact, I just took the car to get a car wash. Like she didn't ask me to do that. I didn't have to, but I just did. And I know that's something that she would appreciate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just part of marriage, bro. Like,
Yeah. It's different. It's a different life, brother. It's a different life from what I've experienced.
yeah, man.
That's definitely a muscle I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to pray. I'm gonna have to pray. I'm gonna have to ask God to help me because that's not something that I grew up just like experiencing for real.
Facts, bro. I definitely understand. Like I've seen it on both sides because my mom was married twice. So I've seen, yeah, see her being a single mom and then seeing her being in a marriage and then seeing that marriage also deteriorate and her
Uh-huh.
being back to a single mom. So like I know what it's like for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, bro. But yeah, I think that's just so that's how I do things. Um, Even when I was with the producer, do you know John? His name is John Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Saint.
we yeah, St. John Paul, yeah. That's his artist name, but
Yeah.
yeah. We linked up. We've been trying to link up for months, like because we connected through Instagram and we've been saying like, hey bro, like we gotta get some time together to work on some stuff. And that's what was so much fun because like seeing how he does things, like he uses a combination of both, getting samples or just making stuff from scratch himself. And it was really nice to like just to kind of take mental notes of like, okay, this is how he does stuff. But where we found similarities is we still kind of go about the same way of, all right, what sound are we trying to create? And doing like kind of like researching like stuff that already it sounds similar. So like we went on Apple Music, Spotify, listened to some records. Like okay, cool. Like this, like search up this record, and we play that. Like search up this record, play that. All right, like let's try to make our own thing that's similar.
Mm.
Because at this point you can't really like recreate. You're not really gonna do nothing new. Like especially in hip hop, I feel like hip hop is in its I feel like the best way to go about it is like Virgil Abloh. Like he would take something that already exists and just put his own little spin on it. And he has some of the most innovative, you know, clothing designs, sneaker designs. Um, so that's kind of how I approach it. Like I'm not gonna make anything necessarily new because if I do this, somebody gonna be like, "Oh, it sounds like such and such," or it's gonna be like, "This ain't new. This was done back in the '80s or back in the
Hmm.
'90s." So Like I like to do like 90s style hip hop, so I'm gonna just recreate 90s style hip hop, but I'm gonna make it like how I want to make it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of that's kind of how I go about doing it. So yeah.
So would you be willing to take like 20 minutes, make a boo boo beat while I watch?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, I'm gonna just ask you questions as I see fit.
Okay, for sure. Let's mess up. Boo boo beat. Cancel. Uh, all right.
And you're recording this Zoom session, right?
I'm not, but
Oh,
I
it's
can.
it said that you were not. You're recording, yeah. You may not have done it on purpose, but you are.
But that was completely accidental.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want me to share a recording with you?
Yeah, when this is done for sure.
All right, bet. All right, yeah, that ain't no problem. I didn't know I was recording. So,
Yeah.
oh, but I stopped sharing.
No, you're still sharing.
You can see my screen?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right, bet. My fault. All right, let's
yeah.
get it. So, let's see.
So kind of talk me through your thoughts.
Yeah, so right now I'm just trying to see what I want to do that's kind of quick and easy
Okay.
for the second time. So, um, let's see, trap.
Well, I mean, you really got like 40 minutes.
What'd you say?
You really got like 40 minutes, but
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Every
Take drums out. So, no drums. I do this one because I know exactly what I want to do. But be quick with it. Let's see. I think I might go with this one. We gonna go with this one for the second time because I know how I want to approach it. So, all
what
right.
made you
So you
change
can,
that? Oh, it says the BPM on it.
yeah. So it gives you a lot of times they'll give you the BPM. They'll give you the the scale, the key that it's in. So that helps. So let's see. So, but what I might do is it's at 140. I might speed it up So what you can do is you can click on the sample and you can kind of do your own tuning of it if you want.
Hmm.
So what I like to do is I put on Stretch Pro, and what that basically does is it allows you to like change the BPM of the whole record you warping uh without you warping the integrity of the sample itself.
I see.
Yeah, so I can speed it up to like 150, right? And then let's see if I pitched it down 200. So I could do something like that. And another thing I could do with it is, and there's multiple ways you can do this. So you can put this in the piano roll. I typically don't do that.
Mm.
So what I'll do is I'll make unique. So whatever I do to this sample won't happen to this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I'll do is, so let's see, we'll just leave it here for now. And then I'll do a whole octave. So then, so you hear the difference. I'll play
Hmm.
a little bit. So yeah, it sounds a lot more aggressive, but it sounds a little muddy. So this is where I don't know how, this is how I like to do things. I like to kind of mix as I go.
Yeah.
So I'm already gonna start putting stuff in the mixer board. So I'll put this on 10. I'll put this on 11. You go on your mixer board. I already think it's too loud, so I'm gonna turn it down just a little, turn them both down just a little bit. And then with this, I'm going to add an EQ. So it's a built-in EQ.
Hmm.
You can get a plugin, you can get whatever EQ you like. What EQ do you use?
I use a couple of different ones. I like F6 RTA, or I just use one of the Qs, like Q1, Q2. It's a Waves plug EQs.
Yep, okay, for sure. Yeah, so I just use the built-in EQ and FL. Um, so let's see, let's go here. So you can see all the frequency bands of everything. So I'm gonna pull out. Actually, let's do this. Let's do it. Type high pass. Let's make it kind of steep. I'm gonna pull out that low end,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna take out some of that high end too. See how that sounds. So I like the reason why I like to do that is like I said, everything needs to be in its proper space. So if I leave in all of this low end, this low frequency content, if I add an 808, it's gonna clash
Hmm.
and it's not gonna sound good. So
See.
I just pull out that low end,
Hmm.
and it kind of matches the intensity of this. Because I want to make sure these two sound as similar as possible.
Yeah.
Um, I'll probably honestly let me put in an EQ for this one too. Let's see. So we don't really need this right now. This will be more like something as a transition. Um, so we'll just build around here. So we have the sample and now we can do the drums. So would you prefer this like that rage like trap EDM type joint?
Yeah.
So you could go like a snare or a clap. I know a clap could go. So let's see. There you go. So you can just drag it right into your channel rack
Hmm.
and then you can build out the pattern. So some people like to do it depends. When I'm just building it out, um, when I'm doing it, I put all the drums in one pattern, and then when you're done, you can just split by channel, and then it'll take all those individual things and it'll make its own track out for that. So it makes it a
Okay.
little bit more easier. So see. Now we can do the hi-hats and what I'm and the reason why I like to some people you can do whatever you want. Like some people will do the 808s first. I like to do 808s last. Um, that's just kind of how I do it because I feel like the drums give it that bounce, and then I feel like the 808s just come natural, more easier for me when I do the
Mm,
808s last. So
yeah.
that's just me. That's just me though. So
Okay.
uh, let's do hi-hats. Some of them they're like too tinny. Like let's see. So what you can do is as a quick step. So I just put the hi-hat in here, right? And then you can just do a fill in.
Yeah.
So you can like fill every two steps. So then now you just boom, quick right there. You got your kind of like the base of what type of bounce you want to have.
Hmm.
Like, or you could do like every four steps. So I'll do it too. So I'll just kind of leave it right there and I'll go ahead and add other elements. But I'm gonna come back to the hi-hats and give it more bounce.
Okay.
Um, but I would just leave it there for now, and then get the other sound elements that I would want. So like an open hat. Open hat. Let's see here. Now, one cool thing you could do, you can either normalize it well, that didn't work. But if you normalize it, it makes it louder, but you can boost up the sound just a little bit. Like you see how much, like just a tiny little bit did.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it a little bit louder, and then I'll kind of fade out the outer the the right side of the sample. You could do it on the other side too. Like I could fade the the beginning of it as well. I'm just gonna fade out just that outside of it. Let's see how it sounds. I might switch it out. We'll see. That's not what I want. So you got that right. And then
You knew where to put it because of based off of muscle memory.
yeah, it's like everything's in like it's either one thing that's nice about the channel rack is everything's by, four like
Hmm.
four steps. So but also yeah, if you do it enough, you kind of like if you study when you hear beats, they're all kind of similar as far as like where to put certain elements. So I just kind of know off
Okay.
memory of like know I want to go with it. So yeah. It's like right here. So we can do like maybe right here. So then I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit.
Hmm.
So you can do it, you can turn down the actual sample itself, or you can go
Okay.
to your mixing board, turn it down there. Either
Okay.
way, it just depends. Um, I'm gonna turn it down here. That's a chill rap. As an artist, what else would you add? Like any other sound elements you could think of?
I'll definitely add an 808.
Okay, for sure. So this is where like the question you asked of like how do you not overdo it? So it sounds like there's not really many elements you need to it. You have a hi-hat, a snare, or in this case a clap, an
Mm.
open hat,
Wait,
and
wait,
then
wait, wait.
just
You said in this case, a clap. So snare and clap are interchangeable.
yeah, you could put a snare here if you want to. It's no rule to it. I just feel like in a lot of trap EDM, they have as like your main percussion, they'll have like a clap and then maybe like an accent snare. So it's not the main focus of
Okay.
the tempo, but it's like something to just add a little extra flair to it. So you can go, I just went with a clap. Because I feel like with trap EDM, it's mainly you let the synth itself, the synth and the 808 is what's going to carry. Um, and a great example, one of my favorite beats. Let me see. It's one of my favorite like trap EDM beats. Um, but if you listen to the drum elements that they have in it, So you hear how like the drums are very simple,
Yeah, yeah.
but the beat slaps. Like this,
Hmm.
that's one of my favorite beats. Like trap EDM beats. That's one of my favorite beats. But I don't even think they even did like a crazy hi-hat pattern. It just had just something like this, and then they had the clap, and then they had an accent snare, and then they had like this other like this other drum perk that I don't know what it is, but they added that, and then they just had the 808. And I know that that's that's one of a lot of people love that beat. It is pretty simple. So that's kind of like the approach of you what was actually carrying that beat. The sound, the eerie synthesizer, and then the 808 just punching, 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 punching. So we can go ahead and do the 808. So let's see. So you can do like a smooth. So I added it to my channel rack, and then I'm gonna put it on track 5 in the mixing board. So that's what these numbers represent, which makes it nice keeping everything organized.
Hmm.
So what I'm gonna go in and do now, when it comes to 808s or bass, any like low end sounds, one thing I recommend doing is taking control of it, because if I just click on it, it's just gonna play the sound.
Hmm.
Now, when you have like a hi-hat or a clap or a snare, that's fine. But if you want to like get as much control out of the 808, you want to go into your so this is your envelope. So you have these knobs right here you turn. So I would just say take the attack, turn it down to 0, take the hold, turn it all the way up, take the decay, turn that to 0, and then take your sustain. You can have a little bit of sustain. It doesn't really matter, but in general, you just take it all to 0, and then the release, you can take it like that. So make it like a square envelope. So now if I play the 808, it only plays when I'm holding it. So when I release it,
Uh,
versus before it would just play the whole note.
yeah.
Now it only plays it when I release it. So that gives you a little bit more control over it. And then you go in here. Just in case, I always put cut itself. So that way when it plays the next note, it doesn't play the previous one. So I'll click that, and then I'll go into the piano roll. So we're in C minor. So pretty much I'll bring it up just in case. I always like to check. Um,
So you don't necessarily have to memorize scales. You just have to know them when you're making the song.
yeah, you don't have to memorize the whole scale. I mean, it'll be if you let's say if you got the piano and you just want to have the piano actually makes it easier because you can just kind of like play by ear. But since I don't have the piano, you can technically use the the keys on your keyboard on your laptop or whatever. But I just don't know where all the notes are. So
Right.
yeah, so let's see, C minor. So I just go C minor scale. Just look it up just in case. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's just instead of C, D, E, F, G, etc., it's C, D, E flat, F, A flat, B flat. So it's pretty straightforward. Um, and I think there's a tool. I gotta find that jump. Let me see. Strong flame.
Scales.
Where was it?
Was it scale levels
Yeah. Where'd you see it?
at the bottom? Nah. Is that it?
No, that's not it.
Yeah.
You should be able to put like I think the default is just C.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that. I think it might be under view.
E label.
That's it's not key labels, all notes.
Where you see it?
Key
Where?
labels and all notes.
Nah, that's not it. It's a place where you should be able to actually select what you should be able to select what key you're in.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
I gotta look that up, bro. I'm gonna figure it out. But that's why for now I just Google it. I'm gonna figure that out, bro, because that would make it a lot easier if I can just set it to whatever key.
I think press the stamp tool.
The what?
Press the stamp tool. It says in the
Stamp
top left corner, shaped like a stamp.
stamp tool.
And then it says scroll down to scales and then pick a scale. And then click anywhere in the piano roll to place a ghost version of that scale.
Scroll down to scale.
Hey, bro. Hey, maybe ChatGPT folded on me.
I'm saying it'll be where exactly you want it to be. So yeah, I'm not sure, but for now we'll just stick with this.
There is one that to have like the scales highlighted when you choose a root note and the rest of the scale highlights. Is that not what you look that's not what you're looking for, right?
No, that's not it.
I bet. It's straight then.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. If we start with C. Ooh. Another trick too is take that root note and then put it hit control up and it goes up an octave so you can kind of hear it a little clearer. So I go up 2 octaves. So yeah. So yeah, we'll just start with something simple like that. Then we can bring it back down.
Oh wow, I see what you did. Okay.
Yeah. But honestly, I kind of maybe if we put these up. So then maybe we do it here. Yeah. So let's put the whole thing up. Okay. So that would be kind of like our base point of where we start. I want to make it a little bit more bouncy, but I mean, it's not a bad start. And then you just highlight it, Control V. It's kind of like Control V, but it paste it like right after. And yeah, so then we can kind of put a little more sauce to it. So for example, maybe I'll do something like this. and then I'll do like a little bit down here. Yeah, so let's go back to the EQ or to our mixer board. I want to use the EQ. So the levels ain't bad, but there's for pretty much all my 808s, I put a soft clipper on it because it can control it, but still give it more punch. So I'll add a soft clipper. I'll add the EQ as well. So let's take a look. So these super low frequencies you're never gonna need.
Mm.
So I always take it out. I always take it out. And let's see. There we go. Then even with these higher frequencies I want a little bit of it because that is a part of the 808 and that's what give this specific 808 its sound. But by me removing some of this high end, it gives you're able to hear the hi-hats and the snares more clearly. So I just kind of remove that just a little bit. But there's still some in there, some kind of frequency content. Oh, and as a whole, another trick that I learned too, I just put a whole limiter on the whole record because I don't necessarily, yeah, it just gives it more, it gives it more like punch without necessarily having to increase the volume. And that's what I learned that the beauty of the soft clipper. So then now I'm gonna take this down just a smidge and I'm gonna add a kick and that'll give it some extra punch. And that'll be pretty much it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll just do this one. 6. So like you hear how it sounds. Like the 808 is kind of punchy, but you'll really hear the difference when you add that kick in there. And you just need that here. Just add it where the start of the 808 is. And it should be pretty good. So I'm gonna do kind of the same thing as the 808. Take out that low end. I'm gonna add a little bit more mid in there because that's where that punchiness comes from. Oh, I'm missing one. I think what I want to do too is I'm gonna lower these a little bit more. Let me just lower this. It's still too loud. And now that you've mixed as you've gone, pretty much the beat is mixed fairly well. And now all you have to do is kind of just tweak things here and there to like um want to add anything, or if you want to just level off everything, then you don't have to do too much because you've mixed every step of the way. And mixing the beat with the mindset of I want to make sure everything is crispy as possible. So I'm I know that for the 808, if the 808 has a lot of high end, I'm going to take that out. If some higher end frequency has more low end, I want to take that out.
Okay.
Still leave some in, but it's like you're creating pockets for everything to have its own space to breathe, and its stuff doesn't start clashing with one another. So like how the clap sounds a little weak. So now I can just go in here. So let's go to piano roll. Do this. There's different ways you could do it. Sometimes making things louder doesn't get the job done of what you are trying to accomplish. I wanted to have a little bit more punch, so I'll just double stack it. Um, did I do all of them? Yeah, I did. Okay. So highlight, Control C, Control V, and then I'll just layer it like that. Yeah, that was a lot stronger. And
Yeah.
I didn't have to turn up the volume, but it has more punch to it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now with the hi-hats, I said we come back to them. So now we go actually into the piano roll. And this is where, if you want to leave it like this, that's completely fine. If you want to get a little saucy, then you could do that. Um, so one, I'm gonna raise up the velocity on these.
How are you doing it so fast?
Doing what?
You just holding down?
Yeah, so I just control, left click, highlight them all, and then you can go through and just raise the velocity. Um, it's still a little random because it's my finger, but
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. It's not that big a deal. Um, okay, so yeah. So now what I want to do is I might do something like let's do like that. So just adding some extra ones just to give it a little bit more color. Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. And then you can even get like crazy, like you can like do like lower, like let's say for example, just like you do something like that, you know. It's really that's where just kind of getting creative with just trying something different. Um and just seeing like just trying to experiment. You could always, if you don't like it, you just, delete it, start over. But
Mhm.
for the most part, we got our drums. So then I do split by channel. And now I got every different element is in its individual track. So you'll see it here. So if I want to edit anything specifically, I can just go to his track and edit it. And then yeah, just going about building it. So for a second, just doing something real quick. Um, oh, shoot, I missed this out. Yeah, then you could do something like that. Uh, see, crap, I'll do this. Take this, roll it back. Yeah. do something like that. Yeah, let's see how that sounds. And then we got our right here. And then honestly, just for the sake of time, oh, just copy that. Cool. And then beat basically done for real, for real. So then, yeah, got a full beat
Yes,
because
sir.
yeah, 3 minutes. So that's just right here. Yeah, so I play from the top. Yeah, there you go. And that's just simple. Now, if I want to take more time, I would maybe do like a different 808 pattern to give it some variation. Um, another thing that you could do is you can take, and this will be the last thing, and I gotta hop off and get some schoolwork done. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, so we can say you have this right, this sample, if you want to, because the next step for me, I want to get to where I can make something like this out of a
Hmm.
plugin, my own plugin, and make my own stuff. But one thing I could do is let's see, there's this plugin. This is built in the FL Studio. It's called gross beat, and you can do little small like iterations and changes. Like they have some built-in ones you could do. So for example, like here, just like stuff like this, small stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of stuff. Like they got some, yeah, some crazy, some really complex ones. And then one cool thing too, you can go in and like edit it yourself. Like
Yeah. Crazy.
they have gates, so like this is really nice too for like variation. So for example,
This is insane.
yeah, they got a whole bunch of stuff, bro. And then yeah, I use Grossbeat a lot. And so you go to Momentary. Now, if you have actual I think there's an actual half beat plugin,
Mhm.
half speed plugin, but they have this in here too, so you can like do half speed. Do some, yeah, a bunch of stuff you can like just kind of go crazy on. Yeah, so yeah, so that's just another thing too, that you can use. Um,
But
they have distortion. You can add distortion on it. Like you could. That's where it's like, all right, cool. I got the beat. So that's another thing too. Like I made the beat, so maybe I'll come back to this later and be like,
mhm.
what can I do to make this a little bit more, to make this more better? Like what,
Mhm.
not necessarily adding more drums or more sounds, but other than like a different 808 pattern, I might just add some effects, some transitions, just to make it a more complete beat, and that just kind of take it to that next level. So, yeah, that's all I
Okay.
got, man. That's all I got,
Nah,
bro.
bro, I really
For
appreciate this, man. God bless you, bro. This was great.
sure. Yeah, man. I'm glad I could help. Um, we all on a journey, so
Hmm.
we all somebody sat down and helped me, so I'm cool with helping other people out.
No, I really appreciate this, man. God bless you, brother.